Welcome to the continuation of the Module 2 on the Introduction to Poultry Production. This presentation will talk about the importance of poultry and poultry products. Poultry plays a very important role for mankind through food supply, income, and employment generation, providing raw materials to some industries, facilitating research works, and others. This presentation will talk about the direct and the indirect contribution of the poultry industry, particularly as a source of food, as well as the different industrial uses of poultry and poultry products. So one of the major contributions of poultry industry is that it is a ready source of food for everyone. So poultry meat is considered to be a highly nutritious food for human beings. Similar to eggs, poultry meat is also a low-calorie food, a concentrated food highly suitable for all age groups and for all season. So the gross chemical composition of poultry meat is highly variable depending on the age and type of birds, as well as their diet and environment under which they are reared. Poultry meat and eggs are considered to be a good source of vitamins and minerals. Poultry meat supplies good amount of phosphorus and iron. Iron in meat is not only highly available but also increases the availability of iron from other sources. Meat, being predominantly skeletal muscle, is very rich in potassium. Meat is the best source of niacin and is a good source of riboflavin. The organic meat is an excellent source of vitamin A, B2, and niacin. People can get meat and eggs easily from their reared poultry than from other sources. Poultry meat and eggs are also a rich source of protein. So the eggs are a rich source of protein that is of high biological value. The protein quality of the egg is often the standard for measuring the quantity of all other food proteins. Eggs are one of the few foods considered to be a complete protein because they contain all required essential amino acids, important source of essential unsaturated fatty acids, and also are rich in minerals like iron, phosphorus, trace minerals, and fat-soluble vitamins, as well as water-soluble vitamins. Poultry and poultry products also have various industrial uses. For example, the eggs can be used in vaccine preparation, as well as the inedible eggs can be used for animal feeds and as fertilizers. In an article of Lauren Newhouse in 2021, published in path.org website, scientists, experts, and vaccine manufacturers from Vietnam are working on the evaluation of the new egg-based COVID-19 vaccine that is affordable vaccine designed to increase access for more people, particularly among low and middle income countries. This photo shows laboratory technicians working on egg-based vaccines at the Institute of Vaccines and Medical Biologicals in Vietnam. The egg-based vaccine for COVID-19 has the potential of having a relatively low production cost and stability at regular refrigerator temperature of 2 to 8 degrees centigrade for months. This is according to an article published at the path.org website. Another poultry product having various industrial uses is the egg white. The egg white can be used in pharmaceuticals, paints, varnishes, adhesives, printer's ink, as well as in photography, bookbinding, leather tanning, cement preservation, wine clarification, and textile dyeing. In a review article of Abe Ratne et al. 2013, published in Poultry Science. The authors reviewed the important proteins in egg white and their important industrial applications. Egg white contains many functionally important proteins, including ovalbumin, ovotransferrin, ovomucoid, ovomucin, and lysozyme. The ovotransferrin is used as a metal transporter, antimicrobial or anti-cancer agent, whereas lysozyme is mainly used as a food preservative. Ovalbumin is widely used as a nutrient supplement and ovomucin as a tumor suppression agent. The ovomucoid is the major egg allergen but can inhibit the growth of tumors and thus can be used as an anti-cancer agent. Egg proteins are utilized in pharmaceuticals. Example of this is the lysozyme from the hen egg white. This protein was utilized by the pharmaceutical company Biogas to develop their product, the API lysozyme. Lysozyme is an active part of the natural defense systems of nearly all living organisms. The lysozyme and their product act as the first line of defense for humans, and it exerts its effect as an antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory compound. So this figure shows the overlay of the hen egg white lysozyme crystal structure and its structure. Another important poultry product having major industrial applications is the egg yolk. The major uses of egg yolk products include as a component of mayonnaise, baking goods, noodles, creams, omelette, sauces, and salad dressing. The egg yolk or the whole egg products produced from hens that have been immunized with specific antigens are also used to prevent or cure specific diseases in animal production and aquaculture, although in this respect their use is limited. This is according to Liu et al. 2008. The egg yolk contains a very important component that has a major industrial use, particularly in the field of pharmaceuticals. And this is the IgY. The IgY stands for immunoglobulin Y. When we say immunoglobulins, these are also known as antibodies. So these are defined as protein molecules produced by the body in response to foreign substances such as antigen. The IgY is considered to be the major circulating antibody that is found in chickens. The chickens accumulate the antibody in the egg yolk. Then it will give it to the chick. The figure shows the production of IgY and its possible applications in both human and veterinary health. In hens, the IgY is transferred from blood and accumulates in the egg yolk, and then to their offspring. The hens are capable of producing about 100 to 150 milligrams of IgY antibodies per yolk, in which 1 to 10% are specific IgYs in nature. In a year, a normal hen produces an average of 300 eggs, which yield approximately 18 to 25 grams of IgY antibody. With simple purification process, IgY-specific antibodies will be produced. This IgY antibodies has been extensively used in health researches as both therapeutic and diagnostic tools So it has applications in the field of diagnostics, therapeutics, prophylaxis, as well as in food preservation and bioterrorism. The IgY that is contained in the egg yolk has been found out to have an antibacterial activity. Specific IgY antibodies are a relevant alternative to use as antimicrobials in human and veterinary health in the face of the emergence of resistant bacteria. Researchers have concluded that the potential of IgY technology to prevent bacterial infections in animals could be useful in the needful strategies to reduce the use of antibiotics in food animal husbandry. So this figure shows one of the major contributions of IgY in the field of veterinary health. So we have here an experiment showing how the IgY will be important to protect the health of the livestock. Particularly in this figure, we have here the piglets. So we have here our E. coli. Our E. coli is considered to be one of the major bacterial causes of piglet diarrhea. So our step one here, we are going to grow E. coli in the lab. So we have here, that is our step one. Our step two is we are going to isolate the fembrae from the E. coli. The fembrae will serve as an immunogen. When the laying chickens will be exposed to the fembrae, the laying chickens will produce an antibody against that particular fembrae of the E. coli. As a result, the laying hen will produce antibodies specific to that particular immunogen. The step 4 here is we are going now to isolate the antibodies produced by the laying hen in its egg yolk. After that, we are going to treat our piglet with our isolated antibodies. When we are going to expose the antibody-treated piglet with our immunogen, which is the fembrae, as you can notice here, the antibody or the bacteria, the fembrae, when it will reach the gut, particularly the intestine, the bacteria will bind to the antibody. And it will not bind to our cell of interest, which is the intestinal cell receptor. So that is why the feces that will be produced by that particular piglet, by that particular antibody-treated piglet, is still a normal feces. For those piglets which are not treated with the antibody isolated from this egg yolk, as you can see here, when, for example, the piglet will be exposed to the bacteria E. coli, the bacteria, upon reaching the gut or upon reaching the intestine, will bind to the intestinal receptors, intestinal cell receptors of our intestine. Upon binding, it will cause some changes in the gut that will result to scouring or diarrhea. So as you can see here, the IgY that is produced or that is isolated from the egg yolk is very important in order to prevent the development of piglet scouring or diarrhea. Continuous research have found out that the IgY has a very important applications in the field of therapeutics. The IgY has been found out to have a very important antiviral activity, antifungal activity, anti-tumor, anti-obesity, anti-allergic, anti-venom activity. We also have the applications of IgY in the field of diagnostics. So the IgY is very important to identify or to diagnose viral, bacterial, parasitic infections. It can also be used to diagnose tumors, to detect enzymes, and it can also be used to identify harmful substances in consumer products. Other important applications of IgY are in the field of food preservation, and it can also be used in the bioterrorism circumstance. Leclerc et al. Demonstrated that IgY produced against the staphylococcal enterotoxin B, a potential biological weapon, can save individuals exposed to this material. Another important poultry product with various industrial uses is the feather. So these are some of the industrial uses of feathers. So it can be used to produce animal feed. It can also be utilized for as a fertilizer, pillows, cushions, mattresses, dusters, and also as insulating materials. The feather or keratin extracted from the feathers have been made into fibers, films, hydrogels, nano and microparticles for use in various fields such as in the food, cosmetology, agriculture, textile, composite, medical, and other industries. Feathers can be utilized to produce animal feed as well as fertilizer. The feathers can be used to make feather meal. This meal is produced by a method that involves the processing of high-pressure steam that is identical to autoclave that is later put into the drying process. The feathers are hydrolyzed by the help of a steam and heat into a high-protein and system-rich product that is estimated to be 60% digestible. This chicken feather meal is used for fertilization as well as for animal feed. As an animal feed, poultry feathers can be processed into a feather meal. The feather meal results from the processing of the feathers obtained after poultry slaughtering. The feather meal is used as a source of protein for farm animals and as a fertilizer. The feathers are a byproduct of broiler, turkey, and other poultry processing operations. The feathers represent about 3 to 7% weight of the live bird, therefore producing a considerable mass of protein. The feathers can also be used for the production of biogas. So when we say biogas, that is defined as a gaseous fuel, primarily consisting of methane and carbon dioxide produced by the fermentation of organic matter, such as agricultural waste or animal byproducts. This figure shows the processing of the chicken feathers in order to produce biogas. The chicken feathers contain a high amount of crude protein, carbon, nitrogen, and hydrogen elements. The proteins are composed of amino acids that is linked by peptide bonds, which are hydrolyzed by proteases upon decomposition. The degradation products of these processes include short or branched chain organic acids, ammonia, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen. So we have here, now this process shows the production of biogas from chicken feather waste. So the chicken feathers, particularly the proteins from chicken feathers, will undergo hydrolysis to form amino acids, and it will undergo the different processes of acidogenesis to produce volatile fatty acids, methanogenesis to produce important gases to be utilized as biogas. The feathers can also be used to produce biofuel. So when we say biofuel, that is any fuel that is derived from biomass, that is plant or algae material or animal waste. Since this can be considered to be, it can be replenished readily, the biofuel is considered to be a renewable energy. Unlike fossil fuel such as petroleum, which are considered to be non-renewable. So this figure shows the process whereby the chicken feathers will be utilized in order to form biofuel. The chicken feathers contain substantial amounts of fat that can or that could be processed for the production of biodiesel from the feather meal. The biodiesel production, the fats could be extracted from the feather meal by solvent extraction and subsequently undergo the process of trans-esterification into the biodiesel using catalyst, nitrogen, and methanol. From the huge amounts of waste chicken feathers that are generated worldwide, it can be estimated that hundreds of millions of liters of biodiesel can be generated from the waste. We also have here another poultry waste, the eggshell. The eggshell and the waste chicken fat can also be utilized in order to produce biodiesel. The eggshell, for example, will undergo the process of grinding and screening, calcination, and trans-esterification to produce biodiesel. The same is true for the waste chicken fat. These will undergo this process of extraction, esterification, and trans-esterification to produce biodiesel. We also have here another diagram showing how the waste chicken eggshell and the rendered chicken can be processed through trans-esterification reaction to produce biodiesel. Another poultry product with important industrial uses is the eggshell. The literature shows that the applications for industrial eggshell may be grouped into two categories: the raw material and the operating supply. In the first case, the options are food additive, soil amendment, purified calcium carbonate, cosmetics, and biomedical or biomaterial composite. As an operating supply, the eggshell may be used as a catalyst and sorbent. When we say sorbent, these are insoluble material or mixture of materials used to recover liquids through the mechanism of absorption, adsorption, or both. Eggshell can also be used in mineral mix, fertilizers, decoration, mosaic works, and also as animal feed. One of the major applications of eggshell is that it can be used as an animal feed additive. The eggshell contains 94% calcium carbonate, 1% magnesium carbonate, 4% organic matter, and 1% calcium phosphate. It also contains iron and protein, which are essential nutrient substance for the growth of poultry. The eggshell powder can be used as a calcium feed additive to promote the growth and development of livestock and poultry. Using this eggshell powder to feed hens, it can help hens laying more eggs and extend the laying period. The eggshell can also be utilized as a fertilizer. So adding eggshell powder into the soil can improve the physical properties of the soil, making it looser and enhance the permeability and drainage. This makes the soil beneficial to the growth of roots and branches. Meanwhile, the soil is conducive to the growth of microorganisms. The growth activity of microorganisms can decompose the organic matter that exists in soil so plants can utilize the nutrient and grow stronger. The eggshell can also be used as an abrasive agent in toothpaste. The calcium carbonate, whose content is significant in eggshell, is one of the commonly used abrasive for toothpaste. The dosage of an abrasive agent in toothpaste occupies 20% to 60%, while calcium carbonate occupies 50%. Using light calcium carbonate as an abrasive is much cheaper than the others. Besides, light calcium carbonate present as slightly alkaline, which can neutralize acidic metabolites that resulted from plaque bacteria. This figure shows the major industrial uses of eggshell in various fields. So the eggshell can be processed into eggshell powder and applied into different fields, such as in the animal field, pharmaceutical, human consumption, in agriculture and bioavailability, and bioaccessibility. The rationale of this comes from the fact that global production of eggs leads to waste like eggshell and eggshell membrane. The eggshell waste, being rich in calcium, can be utilized in fortified food products. The bioavailable salts that are present in the eggshell can be utilized to fortify food products for human consumption, like cakes, yogurt, sausages, biscuits, and coffee. Besides, the eggshells can also be utilized as soil enhancer to contribute in the field of agriculture and also as animal feed. In the field of pharmaceuticals, Tan et al. In 2018 have investigated the potential use of eggshell powder as a tablet excipient. An excipient is an inactive substance that serves as the vehicle or medium for a drug or other active substances. Based on the results of their study, it can be concluded that eggshell powder could be used as a tablet excipient. It can be employed as a diluent and/or drug release controlling agent in the tablet formulation.